sight from my soul.
What's up? What's good? What is happening? Welcome to my vlog. I am the actual King Smith, and this is my Sunday vlog where I just come and chop it up, share what's going on with me, with the people out there. If you choose to tune in, I appreciate you. If you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook, do me a favor. Hit that like button for your boy. Help me out on the algorithms. That's the algorithm over here. It is Sunday. Pittsburgh is down in Miami playing the Miami Dolphins for some Sunday night football. And I am just getting in after a long day of driving from Savannah, Georgia. If you've been watching my content, you will have known that I took a trip down to Savannah, Georgia to see my uncle and had a blast. I definitely enjoyed my time with him. I got in Friday from Maryland to Savannah's not that long of a trip. If you're driving, it's just over 9 hours, all on Interstate 95. Interstate 95 sucks when you're driving from Maryland, getting past like the Woodbridge area. But once you get past that, it is smooth sailing. Got a couple of shout outs. Shout out to the barber that hooked me up in Fayetteville on the way down, to make sure that my beard wasn't looking all weird. Shout out to the people at Creek Fire RV Resort. A lot of the folks that was out there was coming in town for an RV rally and showed your boy some love. And shout out to the people that I networked with when I was down there. I'm going to be showcasing as much as I can whenever I do decide to put my video together. But I had something happen on the way back home today. I should have been home about, let's say about 4 hours ago. I should have been back home. This would have been a pre-recorded video that would have came out showcasing my trip. And halfway into the trip, I heard a bang. And I mean, it was loud too. I wasn't necessarily sure exactly what was going on at the time, but I could hear what sounded like metal scraping. Didn't sound like a tire had busted though. So I pulled over on the side of the interstate and did a walk around the car initially. And when I was looking, there wasn't any obvious damage like to the tires or to any of the outside of the car. But it didn't make any sense because I know I had heard metal scraping. And I'm going to show you the pictures of what it was. I'm not going to show the initial part of it earlier. I'm going to show you here. Let me screen share. Let's get this up on the screen here. And I posted these pictures on my social media page. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger. Giggity. All right. I guess that works. So if you see this little metal piece here, this is from the outside of the car, just under the left rear of the car. Okay. So when I looked down and I saw this piece, initially, I wasn't sure if this came from my frame or if it came from like what's called FOD, like foreign object damage from the highway. All right. So I'm driving. I'm listening to some podcasts. I got cruise control on. None of the other cars in front of me are swerving. So wherever this metal piece came from, I have no idea because like initially I wasn't sure if it was mine. So this is what it looked like on the inside. All right. And what you're looking at here, this is a card that my lady made for me. Shout out to her. This is the bottom of the succulent plant that was in a like porcelain vase that it was in. And it was sitting right on top of this. This is where the feet would be if somebody was in the back left seat with their feet down right here. Okay. And all of this white stuff that you see, there was a lotion bottle that was down here as well. So I got lotion like all back here, all sprayed around the back. I didn't necessarily see it at first until I opened the door and saw lotion just sprayed everywhere. All right. But this metal piece wasn't a part of my car. And I determined that after the state trooper came in North Carolina. So shout out to him The dude was professional, courteous, fantastic. Can't say any more positive about how the interaction was with the state trooper. And then a North Carolina roadside assistance van kind of pulled up, but wasn't a part of my insurance. All right. So when the guy comes, they put a jack up under the car to get a better view, because I didn't necessarily know still at this point if this was a part of my car or some type of foreign object damage. And after they jacked the car and it was safe to kind of look down, it was easily able to be determined that this was not a part of my car. And the roadside assistance guy was like, "Hey, I think I can pull this out." All right. So we took it and pulled it out. And this is what the piece looks like here. This is me with it inside of my trunk because I wanted to keep it for insurance purposes. But with this piece here and here, it didn't hit anything that would have kept the car from moving. So I was like, "Hey," I asked the state trooper, I said, "Hey, let me be clear about, the laws and things like that. All right. Because I'm not trying to pile on anything if I don't have to." I said, "If there ain't no laws driving it, I'm going to make the rest of this 5-hour drive home." He said, "Nope, you are good to go." He gave me a copy of the report that I could file for the insurance. Thank goodness, a couple of different things really about this too. If this was 2 years ago, shortly after I had a, significant personal life-changing event, I would not have, I kind of would have been panicking. All right. Because if I would have had insurance, but this being that it happened on a Sunday, I would have, if the car wasn't drivable, I'm going through the scenario of the car was not drivable. If the car was not drivable, I would have had the tow company tow it to a place that it can sit until Monday when things are open. That would have meant I would have had to gotten my own hotel room somewhere. All right. And stayed there a day. And then thank goodness I'm not cheap and I have rental reimbursement on my auto insurance as well, which adding rental reimbursement for y'all out there, if you're trying to save a couple of dollars, just don't, because you never know when you're going to need it. But if this happened 2 years ago, I would have been a lot more stressed out because I might not have had the money to just even, be out like that for a day. Okay. I also probably wouldn't have done the trip, because the money situation would have been a little bit different. But, through grinding, which I've talked about in some of my old audio stuff, not necessarily a part of this series, just through grinding, restructuring, and everything like that, uh things would have ended up a whole lot better, to where I could have been like, "Hey, you know what, things happen, it is what it is, and I consider a few." Shout out to CJ McLean, that's one of the afros right there. Thanks for popping in, man. Salute. I'm pretty much sharing what happened with me today, which I'm not sure if I put it in the afro group chat, but your boy had a metal piece come through his car. And I was just saying initially, if it wasn't drivable, what I would have done. But having my affairs in order, I was kind of like, all right, hey, let me go find a place to hole up initially. Go and get me a steak or something, watch some football, and just kind of deal with this on Monday. But the car was drivable. Oh, CJ, yeah, you know what? Here, let me just bring it back up on this screen real quick. So this is a metal piece sticking from the left rear part of my car from underneath. This is what it looked like on the outside, driving on I-95 North, man. It caught me by surprise, sitting in the road, and then boom, you know. Luckily, my daughter wasn't in the car because she rides in the back, 15 years old, but she still likes riding in the back or whatnot. So had she been in the car, this would have been the side she typically sits on, and the force of this, because there was some stuff down here as well. So this was a succulent plant in a vase. You can see some of the porcelain pieces here that shattered. there was some playing cards that were down on the ground. Literally, I haven't moved anything. The box of cards that were here are all across the back window. I'm gonna go take some more pictures tomorrow to show, because I haven't moved anything. Everything is, well, there was some Oreos that were laying here. I moved the Oreos for the picture. But everything else that was down here is literally like up on the seats, which would be here, and then across like the back window area. So thank goodness, really, it was just me. Thank goodness also as well that after they pulled it out, the car was drivable. You asked if I can sue the city. That's a great question. I don't know the legal stuff like that, because it's hard for me to say, did it fall off of the truck that was in front of me? Because no other cars were swerving. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like looking at the road, and I didn't see anybody else move for any metal objects. So when it came and hit my car, I had no idea. No idea what had happened. It was loud. It was daylight, but the metal piece, didn't see it. Did not see it. But the car was drivable. So literally the best case scenario from an event occurred, because now instead of spending the night in Benson, North Carolina, I am in the comfort of my own home. I already let my job and my immediate supervisor know, hey, I had an incident happen. I'm safe, but I might be taking some time off tomorrow while I go drop the car off at the body shop. And yeah, man, I am home after dealing with an incident that I wasn't necessarily sure would have been the best outcome for me. So I got the police report, okay, and I took pictures and video. I contacted my insurance while I was sitting on the road to, waiting on the tow truck, but thankfully I didn't have to get a tow truck. Oh, and I have a story about the tow truck too. So the insurance who I have is Geico. Geico was trying to coordinate the towing for me, but said that they wasn't getting a response using their system or something. So I would have had to work towing myself, and then had gotten it reimbursed, for the payments, which is not a big deal, but it's like, that's what insurance should do. Like, I'm paying y'all to work, through all of this, right? Or at least that's how I think that it should work. But it was a good situation for a bad event. My insurance deductible is $500. It's funny because had I just flown down there from Baltimore to Savannah, Georgia, round trip, the flight would have been about 410. And I was going to do that until I just decided to drive when I got my car, because I drive a hybrid. Total I paid in gas was like $90 round trip. Having a hybrid is fantastic for road trips like that. If it's anything under 10 hours, I would prefer to drive. To me, that's nothing. You can throw on a podcast and just listen and just ride. Or if you got company, y'all can enjoy that company. But protecting the Oreos was definitely something. It's funny because I'd only eaten one or two out of those things over that time. And then when the incident happened, the Oreos didn't go everywhere, which is funny because the Oreos was also down there, Michelle. And I ate a few of them and then ended up throwing them away when I went and stopped at the next gas station. So so yeah, so that is my message for today. That is my vlog. That is my live stream. I'm pretty happy that there wasn't any real bad damage. I'm happy that I was able to still drive and make it home. I'm happy that I had the chance to spend a day down in Savannah, Georgia, with my uncle. We both enjoyed each other's company. It had been a while like that. To the people that I met too down in Savannah, Georgia, hey, y'all made it awesome. The people that worked at the restaurant that I went and had food and drinks with, to the RV community itself, hey, y'all make that RV lifestyle seem like it is well worth it. That might be my next goal, is to work towards that RV life. Get me an RV when I'm, I don't know, 45, 50 years old, and just hit that RV life and start traveling around the US doing it up. All right. Let me go and take a look here and see if there's any comments. So the only thing that survived was the vegan food. Yes. Yes, it was. And I still threw it away. And then I'm really glad that you're safe, King, and that I enjoyed my time with my uncle. Thank you. Props to you. I also enjoyed uh the time that I spent when I got back home. When I got back home, I had the opportunity to see Michelle. Uh, Michelle is somebody who I recently just met. She is a dope individual. And I was telling her about the incident, and she just wanted to make sure that I was okay. And she had said something that I thought was dope. And I want to share this with people to make sure that you kind of think about this too. Because when something happens with somebody, if you don't have all of the details, you're kind of wondering like what's going on. I can see a scenario in which somebody might have, panicked and just thought like the worst case in everything that was happening. But for me, I was safe on the side of the road. My registration paper, paperwork stuff, all of that stuff's good, because that's one of the things that the state trooper had asked when he came up. He said, "Hey, I'd like to get your license, registration, proof of insurance, file a report, that you can give along with your insurance." And I'm like, "All right, cool. All my paperwork straight. I'm not worried about that." But Michelle had said, she just wanted to make sure that my emotional, physical, and mental well-being was good. And I said, "Yep, all three are a-okay, but thank you." So her kind of asking that prompted me to, even though I was calm and everything was good, I kind of ran through that checklist myself. Hey, I got all my fingers, got all my toes, not bleeding anywhere. Everything mentally, physically, and emotionally was good. So I appreciate that kind of checkup. And if you're out there and you're hearing somebody that is going through something, maybe consider asking them those questions too. Not just how are you, ask them, hey, I just want, how's your emotional, mental, and physical doing if they experience something traumatic. Okay. That's my live stream. I'm going to still produce the video of my time down in Savannah. Try and put that out on Monday. But until next time, y'all know what to do.